Biden's border disaster in focus on this Friday. And the president is getting some help from his fans and the liberal media.
There is no better example of what MAGA world wants for the rest of America than Texas. Draconian measures meant to secure the border, which includes letting migrants, including a mother and her 2 children, drown, setting up buoys with buzzsaws, barring federal agents from assisting with border control, and passing legislation that makes it a state crime to cross the border. This massive resistance, it sounds like the old Southerners who said that we will resist integration by any means necessary.
On her podcast, Katie Couric seems to be offering Vice President Kamala Harris a pass. You know, Biden put her in a lead role on solving the border issue.
Early on, I know you were tasked with understanding the root causes of the immigration crisis, but you are not in charge of the border, which I think is important to point out.
It has become so deeply partisan and the subject of then political gamesmanship, when in fact the solutions are at hand. We hope and are really trying to compel, in particular some of the Republicans in Congress, to participate in the solution. We want to fix it. They want to run on it. They want a political issue to run on in November.
Let's flash back to 2021. Here's the president on the vice president's border role.
It's not her full responsibility and job, but she's leading the effort, because I think the best thing to do is to put someone who, when he or she speaks, they don't have to wonder about, is that where the president is? When she speaks for me.
When she speaks for me, said Joe Biden. And the issue was the border. No confusion about this. That was what he told her to do. Fix it. Kellyanne Conway, Fox News contributor, former counselor to President Trump. Great to have you in focus. So the vice president says that she's been tasked with, and Katie Couric really helped her out, you know, root causes, all of that. I mean, how would you grade the job she's done at the border, and what were the expectations?
The border, she gets an F, as does the president. I think there's no clearer daily visible reminder of the flailings and failings of the Biden-Harris administration than the border. We see it every single day. That's why you have the increasing number of Democratic elected officials, Harris, calling them out. The female Democratic governor of Arizona, Katie Hobbs, John Fetterman, Democratic senator, freshman senator from Pennsylvania. They're willing to use a word that Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas, and certainly the border czar, given a Russian title to do absolutely nothing, Kamala Harris won't use, and it's the word crisis. Look, the will of the people is to be followed when you're an elected official. The people have made very clear in a tripartisan way, a majority of Republicans, a majority of independents, and the growing plurality of Democrats are saying that border security is the top or in the top 3 to 5 issues for them. When Joy Reid and others say this is a political issue, you just had on 2 governors, and before that, legal experts, saying this is actually a legal issue. They're on solid legal ground. I think people are making it an emotional political issue, trying to scare folks. And actually, when you talk about Texas, this old Southerners nonsense is completely off base. It's completely ridiculous and racist to begin with. Of course, that's what she does. And somehow people just won't fire her. But Texas, 35% of the people there speak a primary language not English. 40.2% are Hispanic. The majority of Texans, as we sit here, Harris Faulkner, are not white. About 14% African-American, 40% Hispanic. You do the math. This is not hard. Multi-generational households. So the Texas voters and population have put into office Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton and others who today, Dan Patrick, others today, who are taking action to defend the sovereignty and the safety of our nation, beginning at Texas at the border.
Both my parents were born in Texas. God rest their souls. Aunts, uncles, 11 cousins. There are a lot of people of color in Texas, and my family alone. And that's what you're pointing out. And to turn this into anything other than a legal issue is not just offensive, it is a dereliction of duty. They got to fix it. It doesn't matter what the people look like. The Americans are red, white, and blue, as you just said so eloquently.